tonight, government announces a national shutdown.
All businesses are to be closed, the airports will be closed, and only essential services, and they know who they are, will be out in the country.
A call is made to heavy equipment operators to be on standby as the island braces for the worst with Durian. And a 45-year-old is stabbed to death in Castries. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News for today, Monday, the 26th of August, 2019. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on KISS FM on our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The island was shut down as of 6 p.m. on Monday. St. Lucia will remain under national shutdown until the all clear is given by NEMO following assessments of first responders. St. Lucia was placed under hurricane watch as of 11 a.m. on Monday. The Prime Minister says the country should brace for the worst. All residents are urged to remain indoors until the all clear is given. The Prime Minister says the government too is bracing for the worst from Durian, but will do all in its power to preserve life.
An island-wide shutdown means all businesses and airports are closed and only essential services have the all clear to be out. Prime Minister Alan Shastey made the announcement following a pre-strike meeting of the National Emergency Management Advisory Committee, NEMAC. At the time, Tropical Storm Durian had strengthened and was expected to develop into a hurricane and affect St. Lucia by 2 a.m. Tuesday.
I look forward to hopefully weathering this hurricane without loss of life. Certainly, we are expecting the worst because the way that the storm is currently developing, the heavier weather is the north end of the eye, and the eye currently is 45 miles in size. So it means if it passes south of Vieux Fort, that more than likely the entire island of St. Lucia will be affected by very strong hurricane winds, and also, as we heard, rains. So we should all brace ourselves for the worst.
The Prime Minister stressed that everything but essential services is shut down and no entity but NEMO is authorized to give the all clear to the public. He announced that the police will ensure that this is in full effect.
We have met with the police commissioner and learned from the past issues in terms of any form of looting, and that's why we're asking that everybody adhere to the rules, that the country is shut down as of 6 p.m. and that we're asking everyone to stay in their homes until they hear the all clear. It's at that point that the police will accept people going around. Anybody who is out and about before the all clear is given, unfortunately, will be viewed as being malintended. So we're asking everyone to please adhere to the rules that have been put in place and to observe the authorities that are entitled to be able to make those decisions.
The Prime Minister spoke about plans to safeguard patients at the George Odlum Stadium and the Victoria Hospital and fortify the health sector to withstand hurricanes in the future.
Certainly, we know that we have two very weak plants, that is in the stadium as well as the Victoria Hospital. And we have been working with the Ministry of Health and also the St. Jude's Board. I'm very grateful for the fact that we went ahead and removed all of the debris above the roofs, which would have been projectiles during a hurricane. We've spent a significant amount of money in strengthening the windows and the areas of potential flooding at those at the stadium. We also have a contingency plan in place that if there in fact is any major problems at the hospital, that we would be moving to another location, and all preparations are being done for that. In the case of Victoria, again, we know that's an old plant, and while we've been moving to OKEU, it would be very easy to ignore what is going on at Victoria. I think that we're strengthening some roofs as we speak because of the maternity wing, if I'm not mistaken, was damaged and was weakened. So I want to assure the public that our health care centers are being looked at in a significant way to make sure that we can weather through this storm.
The island is expecting as much as 10 inches of rain in some areas and hurricane-force winds. The eye of the storm is predicted to pass south of the island at 2 a.m. on Tuesday. By Wednesday, the storm system will move into the Caribbean Sea with areas or cloudiness and thunderstorms still affecting St. Lucia.
The Department of Infrastructure, Ports and Energy is requesting all heavy equipment owners and operators to have their equipment on standby as per established protocol in order to provide support in the immediate aftermath of the passage of Durian, which is forecast to strengthen with hurricane conditions over the island. In the event St. Lucia is severely impacted, engineers and technical experts will work closely with all state agencies and stakeholders to get St. Lucia back up and running at the soonest. Due to the impending weather system, the Department of Infrastructure was forced to cancel an advertised town hall meeting for the Saltibus Road construction project. It was scheduled for Monday at 6 p.m. Notice of a new date and time will be provided. The Department of Infrastructure, Ports and Energy encourages all citizens to stay safe, monitor official weather bulletins, and be prepared. With the imminent landfall of tropical storm Durian in St. Lucia, the island's Agriculture Minister Ezekiel Joseph is expressing concerns for farmers island-wide, especially those without insurance. Joseph says he's hoping that the sector is spared from destruction as it still hasn't fully recovered from last year's weather systems. Joseph admitted there are serious concerns by both his ministry and the government as a whole over the possible impact.
You can never have enough coverage. I mean, there's no way insurance can pay our farmers the damage that they will be experiencing. It's a matter of giving support. So that's why we prefer not to experience any negative impact. Unfortunately, I was told at a meeting here on last week Thursday when I was speaking with the farmers that the insurance that we had last year, unfortunately, they were reviewing the trigger. And as a result, not many farmers had the opportunity to get insurance. So if that is the case, again, that will be have a negative impact on our farmers.
Prime Minister Alan Shastney also expressed concern about the possible devastating impact on farmers and the agricultural sector.
My heart goes out to my farmers who continuously are having to succumb some very challenging circumstances. And then I've spoken to the Minister of Agriculture and to his team that immediately after the storm or the hurricane that we could be out assessing the damage and to reassure them that we will continue to work with them in making sure that we can get through this climate change together.
Minister Joseph says there is and will always be a need for more insurance coverage, and it is for this reason that he has even more concerns over the passage of Durian.
We have not fully recovered from last year's tropical storm. We just seen production getting back, especially as it pertains to banana. So any negative impact would have some serious challenges as far as our farmers. So we are hopeful that we'll be able to weather it and we would not experience the negative that we experienced last year.
Okay, so of course we're in good standing with CC RIF in terms of insurance in case something happens. Are you sure, you're confident that in case of anything we have enough coverage for incidents of this nature for our farmers?
We can never have enough coverage. I mean, there's no way insurance can pay our farmers the damage that they will be experiencing. It's a matter of giving support. So that's why we prefer not to experience any negative impact. Unfortunately, I was told at a meeting here on last week Thursday when I was speaking with the farmers that the insurance that we had last year
That was Agriculture Minister Ezekiel Joseph. As the island hankers down for the looming passage of Tropical Storm Durian, Tourism Minister Dominic Fede says his ministry is holding talks with airlines, tour operators and destination management companies to figure out the best way to weather the storm collectively and adequately.
Tourism Minister Dominic Fede is keeping his fingers crossed that the island escapes the wrath of a possible hurricane within the next 24 hours. Fast approaching St. Lucia is Tropical Storm Durian, which is expected to be upgraded to a hurricane in the coming hours. With St. Lucia being a record-breaking tourism destination, the minister made assurances that the island's hotel sector is doing all in its power to look after the well-being of staff and visitors alike.
Been on the phone this morning with the St. Lucia Hotel and Tourism Association to ensure that we do everything possible in all of the hotels. I'm aware in the hotels that they are taking precautionary measures to ensure that their guests are fully aware of the potential threats that can come from this disaster.
The minister expressed hopes that the effects of Durian will be minimal. He indicated that it would be a real shame if the weather system undid the major strides that the sector, as well as his constituents, have made so far.
We've got so much momentum, and it would be very, very difficult to have any disruptions. The agriculture sector in my constituency, in 2017, they felt the brunt of some of the storms that came through. And I think that I am hoping and praying that our farmers don't have to go through the kind of challenges that they did 2 years ago. It was extremely difficult, and some of them are still dealing with the repercussions of the weather system that hit back then. So I want to wish everyone well, and I want to take this opportunity to appeal again to exercise extreme caution.
A pre-strike meeting of the National Emergency Management Advisory Committee, NEMAC, which was chaired by Prime Minister Alan Shasney, was held on Monday morning at the Financial Administrative Center in Point Seraphin. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. We have more extensive coverage of the passage of Tropical Storm Durian coming up.